Hello and welcome back to Meat City Gaming. JD here with another episode of Battle by Tier in World of Tanks, and today we are in the T69, a Tier 8 American medium tank, and we're in a Tier 9 standard battle on Dragon Ridge. And this weekend there's a special event going on. It's called American-German Champ, and it comprises 3 missions for American tanks and 3 missions for German tanks. They're the same missions, American 1, 2, and 3, and German 1, 2, and 3. The first mission is to get 5 kills in any number of battles using an American or a German tank. The second is to win 2 games in either tank, and the third is to get 8 kills across winning battles, any number of winning battles. So you have to do 1, 2, and 3 in American tanks, and then 1, 2, and 3 in German tanks, and if you do so, you'll be rewarded with a day of premium time as well as 50,000 silver. So I went back to my old trusty Tier 8 tank, the T69, to try and secure some kills in a winning battle. And so we've gotten ourselves into a nice aggressive position here, and whoa, hello, light tank from the enemy team, the VK2801, rushes us. I missed my first shot, put my second one in, third shot tracks him, and my fourth takes him out. So we hit 3 of our 4 shots there and removed that light tank from the game, and now we're on our reload. So the T69, it's a tank I really enjoyed playing. I completed it, I think, before I started the channel, so there's not really any gameplay of it up yet. I've moved on to the T54E1, and then of course the T57 Heavy. But this tank is really great. Of course you can see Tier 10 games in it, and if you do, it may be a bit rough, but anything else, Tier 8 games, it's a star. Tier 9 games like this, where there's not too many Tier 9 tanks, it can really perform well. It has a 4-clip auto-loading 90mm gun as the top gun, and the clip averages about 960 damage if you hit all 4 shots, rolling for average damage. And the accuracy on the gun is pretty good. The aim time's a bit long, that's one of the weaknesses of it, but this is a brawling tank. Its mobility is really good compared to the T54E1 and the T57 Heavy, and so you can really clean up at the end of the game. And if you meet wounded tanks that have, around 1,000 health, you can take them out in one clip very quickly. So after getting our reload, I saw this T21 flying down the hill into the enemy base. I'm thinking, what a great opportunity. He's going to light some tanks up. We'll be able to shoot down at him, and it didn't really work out. But we do poke the corner here, and we have some side shots into the IS-3, the Tier 8 Russian heavy tank. The other thing going on this weekend is the on-track event to the IS-7, and so you're going to see a lot of ISs and IS-3s out there, and we put all 4 shots into him. We had the side of his tank there, but wow, we're taking some flanking hits from a Bulldog on the enemy team. I finally get my frontal armor to him. I'm going to try and back up through the town here. Not a really easy thing to do. We did take 2 or 3 hits, but we've got ourselves into cover, and we're going to try and finish off our reload here. So a good exchange with the IS-3. We put all 4 of our shots into the side of his tank, but we did take a couple from the Bulldog. But now we're fully loaded, and now we don't need to back up anymore. Now we can be aggressive. So now we're going to come forward and see what we can do to this Bulldog. He's at extremely long range, so you can see we're aiming. We rushed that one a little bit, but it flies true. Put the second one in, and then he's around the side of the corner. So we're going to back up. I believe he probably had the autoloader based on how aggressive he was playing there and how he backed off after firing those shots. But either way, he's at long enough range where we can go for our reload as well. So we're fully loaded for our next engagement. We don't want to go in there half cocked. And there, did you see to the left of me? I thought I saw some rubble move. It looked like a building was going down as a tank was coming through there. I may have seen that wrong. It may have just been one of those random dynamic events that happens, but I wasn't taking any chances, so I'm backed up, I'm reloaded, and now I'm calling for help. The light tank on my team, I'm thinking, there is nobody, no tank on the entire western half of the map right now. It's just me over here. I know that Bulldog is over here, and if he has any help, one of the downsides of the autoloader is after I shoot my clip, I have a 25-second-ish reload time, where if there's a second tank here, it could do a number on me. So I'm looking for a little help from one of the mobile light tanks that's left on our team. You can see we're down here. It's 4-6 in terms of the score. So we need to play cautiously. We're one of the more powerful tanks on our team left, and we need to have an influence. So the Bulldog pops up, takes a shot at an ally, and I've got a great shot here. Again, we're aiming. Put the first one in. Second one scrapes into the thin part of his turret there and removes him from the game. So that's our second kill, and we go for another reload. So now we're, again, we've had a really nice turnaround. We got 1 kill there, but the score is completely reversed. Our teammates did very well, and now we're up 8-6. So I'm going to be a little aggressive. I'm going to try and push through the town, and again, see if we can spot any of the enemies down in the valley or in their base, and try to get some flanking shots in. As I get into position, my clip should be fully loaded. One thing to be aware, there are 2 artillery on the enemy team. They're in a platoon, so we need to be aware of that fact. There's also a Waffentrager, or a Borsig, I'm sorry, on the enemy team who could have a really big gun, so we need to keep an eye on him as well. We don't want any surprises. So now, once again, this position is great because the Tiger, we have shots in him as he's looking to our allies on the side there. We put one in, get help from an ally. Put our second one in, and will we reload? Yes, we get it in time, and we finish him off with our third hit from the fourth shot of the clip. And so that's our third kill. Now, I got tracked in return, and I didn't go for the repair. I probably should have because I knew artillery was aiming at me. I really wanted to keep the repair kit, but I have two. I run this with a small repair kit and a large repair kit. I probably should have played it safe and repaired that immediately, got into cover, because a hit from artillery would be really devastating right now. The other problem is that last hit I took from the Tiger put me at below 750 health. So if the Borsig has the 150 millimeter, his average damage would kill me in one hit. So that's significant. We're going to keep that in mind as we get ready for our next engagement here. I had a slight distraction outside of the game that I needed to deal with for a couple seconds, and then we're back in and we're ready to go hunting here to try and clean this game up. So we're up 11-8, and it looks like the enemy artillery, one of them is available here. We're going to aim. He's moving, so I rushed the shot before it's fully aimed because I didn't want him to get in the cover. But our second one flies true as he's on the move. Our third goes in as well, and he's taken out. So now I've got one in the clip, and before I go for the reload, oh, there's a thin shot here on this IS-3. I'm thinking the pike nose might be helping keep his armor a little flat, but it's not enough to go in. We get a crit there. I don't know if we tracked him. It didn't look like a tracking shot, but we put that in, and we're going to advance while we go for our reload now. This is the cleanup stage of the game, and look at the mobility of this tank. This is good. We're on a slope. We're coming uphill here, and this tank's moving. It doesn't drag. So we crest the ridge. One of our allies takes out the IS-3, and now here's the Borsig. But oh, before we get to that, there's the other artillery. We had a premium clip loaded there. Certainly didn't need it for the artillery. Certainly don't need it for the Borsig. I was bringing it for the IS-3. I really wanted to get these last hits in. I know I'm having a great game. So we got our fifth kill. Now we're going for the Top Gun. But once again, the clip was loaded for the IS-3. I really wanted to get him out. And when he was taken out, I didn't have time to reload the clip for these last two very soft targets. So forgive the useless expenditures of the premium here. But I'm going to advance. Everyone was messing around here. Everyone was on really low health, but I wanted to get in here. He can only shoot once. He does have the big gun. We put one in, go for the ram, put our last shot in, and it was not quite enough to kill him with the combination there. Instead, we left him on just a sliver of health. I tried to back up and go for one more ram, but my allies instead, I left him on just that little sliver, and the allies got the kill. But still a great result in this T69. 5 kills, 4,400 in damage, and almost 1,000 block damage. That was really good armor performance for this tank. It's not known for its armor, but we did pretty well there. So we secured a bunch of medals, fighter for our 5 kills, bruiser, we got the high caliber, first class mastery badge, which was good. I was kind of hoping for an ace tanker. I do have it in this tank, and this was one of my best games in it. We'll see how the XP shook out. Quickly through the efficiency tab here, we can see the tanks that we engaged and did crits, regular damage to, and destroyed. And there we go. There's the base XP, 1,709. That's a really great result, and it's unfortunately a little bit short of the ace tanker. I don't know what you need to do to secure it in this tank. Good games as well from our T69 and our IS-8, putting up 1,400 damage, or 1,400 base XP and 1,321 base XP. They both had really good performances as well. So that was a great game in the T69. You can see accuracy was really good. 24 shots fired, 22 of them hit, and all but 1 penetrated. So it's a really fun tank for me at Tier 8. It's one that I went back to because I wanted to secure some kills in a winning game, and this is one of the tanks that I can have the most influence in the battle in, as long as it's not a Tier 10 matchup that I end up in. So that's it for this, but there is a bonus video coming up, one more short battle that we're going to get into right now. Stay with me. We're once again in the T69, and this time we are again in a Tier 9 battle, but it's on Redshire and it's an encounter battle, and the enemy team has a lot more Tier 9s, or I should say, there's a lot more Tier 9s in the battle. It looks like the matchmaker actually gave us a slight advantage in terms of Tier 9s, but we're in the minority in Tier 8 tanks. So we're not going to be quite as influential in the battle, or so you would think. The theme on this one is doing what you have to. Sometimes it's all about taking one for the team. So we're going to see where everybody's going. something to keep in mind on these encounter battles, you may have to think differently than the meta. Usually for Redshire, you want to push down the eastern valley to try and win that flank. That's where the big tanks are going to go. That's where the big battle is going to be fought. And then hopefully if you win that flank, you can swoop through and then have a pincer coming from both angles on the base, and you'll be able to clean up and win the game. But something that's happened a lot in encounter games that I've seen is somebody rushes for that flag. You got to think there are 30 tanks on the two teams combined, and while most people will play with the thought of, well, I'm not going to cap at the start because even if I do it, then I don't really get anything. If you cap in the first 3 minutes, well, you're not going to get much XP, and you're not going to get much credits, and you're not going to make much progress on your tanks for such a short victory where you're not going to be doing any damage. So most people won't play that way, but all it takes is one on either team to go and sit in there and cap out, and yeah, they'll get a win, and if that's your goal, then you'll accomplish your goal. But if your goal is to make credits or to make progress or to have an impressive WN8 or whatever other standard you use, well, capping out's not gonna do it. So, but all it takes is one person. So you have to be aware of the possibility that somebody might be trying to do that on the enemy team. And if you're in a big, slow tank and you end up on the opposite side of the map from where the cap is, you're not really going to be able to influence that very much. But if you're in a medium tank that's mobile, like I am with the T69, then I can come over here and see if the enemy puts pressure on the cap, try to influence that if need be, or I can assist on another flank if it turns out that nobody's coming over here. So we're on top of the hill. We're trying to spot, look for shots of opportunity, but you can see the cap timer is going off. So we're going to come over here and try and help out. There is an E75 making his way down the far western flank, but he's not capping. And then there's a T32. That's a hull down T32. You don't waste shots on that turret. Those are never going to go in almost any gun that you're firing in the game other than the real big guns. You're not going to go through there. So I'm not going to waste my shot there either. And now there's two cappers. And now we're down to 40 seconds and counting. We're going to lose this game in 35 seconds. No one on our team is close enough to do anything about this. So I'm thinking, boy, this might be up to me to get in here and try to reset this. I waited as long as I possibly could. I'm looking for a shot. Here I can see there's the two cappers, but one is an E75 and the other, I think it was a Super Pershing. Both strong turrets. So again, I only have 4 shots and then I have to reload. We're down to 13 seconds here, so I need to do something here. I need to make these count. The E75 misses as I come down the hill. I need this shot to go in. I aim, take my time. Thankfully I've got the side. Yes, we put one in, so half the capture points are taken away. Now, the E75 is still dug in here and he's still got all of the capture points now, and we're still 22 seconds away. So we're going to go for it. We're going to crest the ridge. We're taking some fire from a line tank up above. Oh, we take 2 big hits, but we have the rear of the E75. We put one in, and now we've got a big hard reset, and that's great. I'm going to try and put one more in here. No, that didn't work. Can I get my tank into cover? If I can get behind this building, maybe I'll be able to get a reload and help out, and oh, just into the side of the tank. We get taken out. But we did what we had to do. That game was a guaranteed loss if I didn't reset that cap, and probably if I didn't reset both tanks, they still would have won. So at least we gave our team a chance. We sacrificed ourselves. We did not have a good game here, but we're going to see how things go. So I have the speed set up for this little section as I'm thinking about my loss, mourning my sacrifice here to the tank, but we'll pick it up in a second. And yes, you can see the enemies are ticking down. Now it looks like our allies have recovered. They've gotten themselves into position where they can challenge the cap. They've won the far flank on the east, and we're going to switch in here to watch the cleanup. Now there's just 3 tanks left. You can see one of the friendlies has moved into the cap circle, and we're going to close in the trap here, and I'm going to enjoy these final moments. This would not have been possible without the sacrifice that we made there, so I'm glad that it wasn't for naught, and we actually do end up with the win in this game. So a couple more shots here from the IS-6, and he'll take out one of these tanks in front of us here. Oh, he bounces off of the tank, but the allies take him out, and now it's just the Waffenträger 4, and he is quickly removed. Big ram into the side, not quite enough to finish him off. 2 shots go in, 3 shots go in, and there we go. So, the moral of the story, sometimes to get the win, to help your team, you got to sacrifice your tank, and you're not going to have much personal glory for it. I certainly didn't get any thanks or messages after the game for it, but you know, that was a good result that We ended up with a Defender medal. We're going to end up here, we'll take a look at the detailed results, but it's not going to be impressive. We're not going to have a good XP reward. We're not going to have a good credit reward. There you go. We're in the bottom half of the team, but I know, it feels good to know that we secured that win for the team. If we hadn't done what we did, that would have been a loss. So, just wanted to show you that sometimes if you're in a hopeless situation, you got to make the sacrifice. You got to go for it, because sometimes that'll be enough to get your team the win. So that's it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I wanted to make a little bit of a longer video, have 2 battles, or 1.5, I guess, based on my performance in the second one there. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Excited about the 100 subscribers and moving forward. Thank you so much for your support. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.